You are looking live from Guantanamo Bay here in Akron, Ohio. We're going to pick up with part 2, which is action, and now we are on chapter 3, which is called Practice Persistence. So the chapter begins by talking about General Ulysses S. Grant, and it was dealing with the Battle of Vicksburg, which was in Mississippi, a major landmark for the Confederacy during the Civil War. And it talked about the year-long process of his plan and his structure on how to attack at Vicksburg, because Vicksburg was located up on top of a mountain over a body of water, and it was a very difficult entry point no matter what way they looked at it. So he was devising all kinds of plans. He was looking to attack from the sides. He was looking even to dig his own canal for him and his troops to go through in order to get up to the top of the hill. And for a year, they were unsuccessful in everything he tried. So it wasn't until that he decided to take a more unconventional approach. And what that approach was is he was going to take all their boats and they were going to literally go right through their gunners, like pretty much attacking it head on. And it sounded a little bit crazy. It was a huge risk, but really, it was all about the mindset that they decided to take. And it's a phrase that we used during the season this past year, if you guys can recall, decisively engaged. And it's meant that no matter what, they were in it. There was no turning back. They knew as soon as they set out on that mission, they were there. No turning back, no matter what. 10 toes in. And that's what they did. And they succeeded. They actually won that battle, were able to take over that area, and it was a huge turning point in the Civil War. And really the message was simple that he was trying to preach to them was no matter what happens, it doesn't matter, we would not give up. He would not give up. And it was the act of persistence. He was going to be persistent no matter what it entailed, no matter what the circumstances became. When they made that decision that they were going, when they were decisively engaged, that was it. There was no turning around. They would not give up. And that was huge. And going back to that unconventional tactic, it speaks a little bit on what this chapter is talking about and gets into is the art of innovation and how important it is and what it really means. Whenever you're talking about being innovative, you're going against the norms. You're doing what people are telling you is nearly impossible to do. You take a guy like Thomas Edison, which is the example they use here in the book, and they're saying with his persistence on creating the light bulb. And I know you guys have all heard the story about it took him 5,000 tries. He figured out 4,999 ways not to. But alone from just being persistent in that pursuit, you're also practicing the art of being patient, which is crucial anytime that you're looking to be persistent, or which our team motto was for this offseason, and also being consistent. Because whenever you look at obstacles from whatever direction you want to, those aren't going to go away. You're not going to be able to outthink them. So what you really need to do is be consistent. You got to be persistent. You need to work consistently, and you got to work persistently as well. Because at the end of the day, people that work really hard, when you work really hard at something, it tends to work. It really does. It's a simple process, but like we always talk about, it's not easy. It's a simple but not easy process to be consistent and to be persistent. And it also goes into the kind of your mindset when you're looking to attack something. And talking about Ulysses S. Grant was the greatest example of it. Was whenever you go into something like that, you put it in your mind that quitting is not an option. And you need to remove all of that talk from your mind, and you need to be able to persist and resist that temptation. Any type of thoughts that trickle into your mind about the thought of it not happening or quitting in the meantime. So just talking about with new things in general as well is when you want to be different, you got to do things that are different. And whenever you come up to obstacles, whenever you're trying new things, especially right now, a lot of us are put in new situations, new circumstances, whether it's academically, athletically. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would be able to do it and would be able to adjust to it. So you got to understand that it's going to be hard, and that's where the work comes in, and that's why the working part of it is so important. And if you find out that something that you're trying to be innovative, and it doesn't work the first time, good. Work even harder the second time. Be persistent. Practice persistence in everything we do. It's chapter 3 as part 2. We will go to chapter 4 tomorrow and possibly have a trivia question for you. All right, guys.